Hi there. Well, it's a new day and I've chosen another book to read here. And I'm just going to talk a little bit about why I chose this particular book and how important it's been on my own journey of self-discovery. Now, I'm pretty old, and in 1980, a movie came out and it was called Altered States. And I don't know if you remember it, probably nobody does. It starred William Hurt. Anyhow, one of the things that this movie did was it introduced everyone to the idea of an isolation tank. This is a tank that is temperature neutral water. And usually you experience floating in this water in complete darkness. But nowadays these tanks are available and you can float in them with beautiful lights and music playing in the background. But in this movie in particular, it was based on a true story, on the true events of Dr. John Lilly, who wrote this book, and it was called The Center of the Cyclone, an Autobiography of Inner Space. And as I watched this movie, and I watched William Hurt, naked, alone, floating in complete darkness, in this temperature-neutral water, as I said, the question came to me. I mean, I don't remember exactly, how it came in the movie, but the question came into my awareness. That is, if we cut ourselves off from all physical stimulation and we're totally alone, will we die? Are we dependent on outside stimuli to be? And this is a question that really didn't leave me for quite a while. And when I watched the movie, I thought of it as sci-fi. But it's not sci-fi. It was based on Lilly's own life. Lilly was actually a medical doctor, a psychoanalyst, and he worked in many fields: biophysics, neurology, electronics, and neuroanatomy. But probably he's best known for his studies on the consciousness of dolphins. And this book came to me a long time ago, and it was very exciting to read. Because it was true. It was based on his actual experiences. And when Lilly pioneered the term sensory deprivation, that was 1954, and at the time, all the scientists pretty much thought that the brain stayed in a waking state because of external stimuli. And this means that if the brain shuts down, the entity dies. No one had ever tried it, and on some level, the hypothesis made sense to me. But it turns out that nothing could be further from the truth. Hats off to Lilly, really, as he experimented on himself in this regard, and it must have seemed like a huge step into the unknown. The first half of the book really blows you away. I mean, I haven't read it in a while, but I've chosen to read it here because it reads like a thriller. There's a fast-moving narrative, and the best part is, as you read it or as you hear me read it, you know that it's all true. And he writes about different phases of his life. Not all parts will appeal to all readers, but about halfway through the book, it changes direction, and it loses some of its momentum. But here's the crazy thing. It goes even deeper there into an exploration of different states of consciousness. And when I first read it, I'd already been down to Virginia to the Monroe Institute, and I was, an explorer, as they called people going down there for these consciousness retreats. And down there, I had experienced firsthand some different states of consciousness. And also, I was beginning myself to experiment with meditation and shamanic journeying. And I was slowly beginning to see parallels between the discoveries of Gurdjieff, as espoused by Uspensky, and the different states of consciousness of shamanism. And as I was reading Osho at the time, he also spoke of the different planes of consciousness. And if I remember correctly, he said there were 7 planes, and and we could actually distinguish these. So exciting. Anyhow, when I personally started actually recognizing different planes of consciousness within myself, I got a sense of the bigger picture of life. And I must say, it's really reassuring to find such a book as Lilly wrote, this one, because it's reassuring, because there are guideposts to help you move on in your own quest or your own exploration of consciousness. Because we know others have made this trek before us, and I, for one, certainly appreciate their insights. And so the second half of the book, although it's not, this thriller narrative, is really, really fascinating and might even help you. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope you stay with me. My intention is to read it all here. And please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell if you want to be notified whenever I put up one of these audios. And thanks for listening. Till soon.